All batteries, Sector Command. Unknown contact over Los Angeles. Maintain visual. Do not lose it.
Sector Command, Battery 1, we have visual. Target is lit by searchlights. Altitude unclear.
Say again. Do you confirm aircraft?
Sector Command, we observe an object, unable to identify type of airship. It appears to be descending.
Battery 1, you are cleared to engage. All guns ready. Fire! Fire at will!
In December 1941, the United States declared war on Japan, and by early 1942, the country was on edge. Speed, coordination, and strong defenses suddenly mattered more than ever. Radar stations along the west coast began picking up Japanese warships and submarines offshore. At that time, Japan's aircraft carriers controlled much of the Pacific. Military analysts warned that an air attack was possible. Air raid drills became routine. An attack on the US mainland no longer felt impossible. No one knew when or where Japan might strike. Cities along the coast prepared for the worst. New anti-aircraft guns were installed, searchlights positioned, and troops placed on high alert, while much of the US military focused on preparing for a massive invasion in Nazi-occupied Europe. Then, in the middle of this fear and uncertainty, something crazy happened. Over Los Angeles, one of the strangest incidents of World War II unfolded, an event so unusual that, even so many decades later, still remains unexplained. That night, the skies over the city came alive. In the early morning hours, cities along the west coast went dark. Blackout orders were issued, and air raid sirens warned civilians to take cover. Radar stations reported an unidentified contact approaching Los Angeles. The threat was believed to be an enemy aircraft. Civil defense alarms echoed across the city as searchlights swept the sky, searching for movement above the coastline. Then, without warning, anti-aircraft guns opened fire. Radar operators and ground crews claimed they had visual contact. Searchlights locked onto unidentified objects flying in the sky. As the sporadic firing spread across the city, officers began reporting additional targets in the sky. As the firing continued, uncertainty grew among the officers. Radar operators reported new contacts, but each reading seemed to contradict the last. Batteries that had been on alert now questioned their orders.
All batteries, engage! I repeat, engage anything moving in the sky.
The next morning, national media outlets covered the event in depth. CBS News reported that the Air Force had scrambled fighter planes to intercept mysterious objects hovering over Los Angeles.
And now for news of our own West Coast, we take you to Los Angeles and the report of Byron Palmer. Anti-aircraft guns went into action against unidentified aircraft in the Los Angeles area shortly after 3 a.m. Pacific wartime this morning. The anti-aircraft guns began barking during a blackout ordered by the 4th Interceptor Command at 2:25 a.m. The unidentified object, which some sources thought might be a blimp, moved slowly down the Pacific coast from Santa Monica and disappeared south of Long Beach. Watchers on the rooftop of the Columbia Broadcasting Building in the heart of Hollywood could plainly see the flashes of guns and searchlights sweeping the skies in a white arc along the coastal area. Concussion of the shells could be felt in downtown Los Angeles, 15 miles away. U.S. Army planes quickly took to the dark skies, but whether they contacted the object has not been announced. Army officials say they will not comment until they receive a full report of the action. Several observers say they saw one or more planes spotlighted by 20 or 30 searchlights. The object moved southward, presumably over Huntington Park at the western edge of Los Angeles, and on southward to about Long Beach on the coast. By 3:30 a.m., observers said the object appeared to be over the south of Long Beach. Searchlights closely followed the object down the coast and kept it centered in their glare. Shells frequently could be seen bursting near the object, but none appeared to hit it. The shooting stopped about 3:30 a.m.
The Los Angeles Times detailed the citywide blackout, the barrage of anti-aircraft fire, and the widespread confusion that gripped Los Angeles. The paper even published photographs appearing to show an unidentified object caught in searchlights as shells exploded around it. Other newspapers reported sightings of flying objects being struck by anti-aircraft fire, with some even claiming that an aircraft had crashed to the ground. Yet despite the chaos, no confirmed wreckage was ever recovered. The Western Defense Command later stated that no debris was found and that no bombs had been dropped. Conflicting statements from top officials only deepened the mystery. William Franklin Knox, the Secretary of the Navy, dismissed the incident as a false alarm, but the Secretary of War, Henry Stimson, offered a very different account, stating,
"As many as 15 planes may have been involved, flying at varied and unusually slow speeds."
An official War Department report was sent to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, outlining the Army's findings and assessment of the incident.
From details available at this hour. 1. Unidentified airplanes other than American Army or Navy planes were probably over Los Angeles and were fired on by elements of the 37th California Brigade between 3:12 and 4:15 a.m. These units expended 1,430 rounds of ammunition. 2. As many as 15 airplanes may have been involved, flying at various speeds, from what is officially reported as being very slow to as much as 200 miles per hour, and at elevations from 9,000 to 18,000 feet. 3. No bombs were dropped. 4. No casualties among our troops. 5. No planes were shot down. 6. No American Army or Navy planes were in action. Investigation continuing.
In the years that followed, investigations acknowledged that at least one flying object had been seen that night. In 1948, a formal investigation led by Professor William Goss concluded that the unidentified objects over Los Angeles were likely nothing more than the usual suspect in UFO cases, weather balloons. By focusing only on parts of the reports that mentioned single objects, the balloon theory seemed to fit. Some officers had indeed noted a meteorological balloon in the area. The investigation suggested that miscommunication led anti-aircraft units to open fire on a balloon launched just minutes earlier from the Hollywood area. Officials, it claimed, had raised the alert level unnecessarily, and confusion between radar stations and ground command created widespread panic. Radar readings that night, according to the report, should have indicated that the slow-moving object was not hostile. But the report leaves many questions unanswered. Many witnesses, both military and civilian, described seeing or hearing multiple aircraft above Los Angeles. The investigation largely ignored these accounts, and one fact stands out. Why would anti-aircraft batteries fire 1,400 rounds at a single target that looked like a weather balloon? How could a balloon survive direct hits from so many shells exploding around it? What do you think really happened that night over Los Angeles? Could it really have been a balloon? Or something entirely different? The Battle of Los Angeles remains an unsolved mystery that leaves everyone questioning what really happened. Blurry photographs and conflicting accounts from officials and civilians leave us with no clear answers. 3 years after the incident, Japan surrendered, but when questioned by US authorities, they denied any involvement. The weather balloon theory doesn't explain why the defense forces kept firing for 2 hours or the lack of wreckage. The official investigation was one-sided, largely ignoring the majority of reports that contradicted its conclusions. After all these years, one question remains: who or what was really in the skies that night? What do you think?